most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of
Welcome to the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
The Seattle Mariners are champions in the American League West.
2 hours of special pregame coverage, counting you down to first pitch in the American League Division Series.
It is on its way. It is history. Cal Raleigh stands alone.
Now your host, Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It is here. The Mariners Pennant Push officially underway live from Victory Hall here, Seattle Sports on 710. The crowd is fired up. The place is packed. People are ready. This is like Christmas, and we got Charlie Furbush on set with us. We got the legend Rick Riz on set with us.
How you doing, everybody? Oh man, I got goosebumps the size of grapes.
Look at the fans you bring in here.
This is awesome. Well,
Rick Riz shows up, and everybody crowds around the ropes here.
How you doing, everybody? Are you ready? Postseason 2025. Game 1 of the Division Series. The Mariners wrap up the American League West for the first time in a while, third time in the playoffs. And I tell you what, the ball club is fired up. They're getting ready across the way at T-Mobile Park. These fans are ready too. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
Let's get game 1. Let's get game 1, right?
Exactly.
It is the Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos, as you see here.
Got the Lucky Cheetos going.
How did that, for people that don't know, how did that start?
It started with Jerry DePoto. And, last year, the year before, we were kind of struggling a little bit, and I would go into his suite and steal a couple snacks, and he said, that's fine, go ahead. So I love Cheetos. So I take a bag of Cheetos, and we won that night. And so the next night, Jerry came in with a bag of Cheetos. It's all about Jerry DePoto, and he brought them in, and we won again, and we kept winning. So we had something fun going on. And this year, as you know, the ball club, the second half of the season, they went on those 2 long road trips to the Eastern Time Zone, the East Coast, and they really struggled. And then at the end of that second long road trip, the 3-city trip, we were in Atlanta and lost to Chris Sale. I think the ball club lost 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 7 of 8 games. And Jerry came in our booth in Atlanta and said, we need some help, and he brought in the Cheetos. And we won that night. We won 10-2. And then he brought in the Cheetos the next day in Atlanta, the afternoon game, and they won 18-2. Then we had to fly all the way home and open up at home against the St. Louis Cardinals the very next day after the long flight from Atlanta. So we're playing the St. Louis Cardinals. Jerry comes in. Here's the Cheetos, and the Mariners win. The next day, there's no Cheetos. And I go into Jerry's booth, and I said, Jerry, where are the doggone Cheetos? I can't find any. So he got a hold of Trevor Gooby, and Trevor looked all over the ballpark and found the Cheetos. And as soon as Jerry came in with the Cheetos, the Mariners scored 4 runs, and we won that ball game. And then a couple of days later, no Cheetos until the Mariners came up to hit, and Jerry dropped by the Cheetos, and Randy Rosarena was hit by a pitch. Cal hit a double, and Julio hit a 2-run double, and we had a 2-0 lead, went on to win that ball game. So coincidence? I think not.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So anyway, we won 10 in a row and 17 out of 18 every time Jerry brought in the Cheetos. And if you think it's the Cheetos or the mustaches,
then it is.
Then it is. But I think it has a lot to do with Cal Raleigh and having a historic year and all the guys in that lineup and the great pitching. and the bullpen, and the great job Danny Wilson has done with this coaching staff. But it's nice to have something to think that, you know, if there's something else going on, like the shoes on the kid's head, you know, a few years ago, the mustaches, it's something that's a lot of fun.
Charlie, if only you'd known Cheetos were the key to success back when you were playing, right?
He's more of a Doritos guy. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, hey, look who's next to you here. Come on.
I know. So, Rick,
Yeah,
first
John.
off, you're a legend in the city. You've seen so much. We thank you for everything that you do. Talk about the energy of this team this year compared to the teams of the past that were successful in '95 and '01. Because it certainly feels, you know, new to a lot of people. But you know, tell us how it feels different.
It's different because there's more experience. You know, 3 years ago when they went, there was a bunch of young guys that were experienced at, you know, for the very first time. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, his first year. By the way, Julio's had a tremendous season, a great second half of the year. But, you know, now they had that under their belt. And it takes that first step to take the other giant leap after that. So the Mariners now have 9 guys on their team that were with the ball club 3 years ago when we made it to the playoffs. Now you bring in Luis Castillo, you know, the Rock from the Cincinnati Reds in that great trade deadline deal. We get to the playoffs in 2022. Cal hits the home run against Domingo Acevedo and, you know, off the Hit It Here Cafe. But you bring in Randy Arozarena, you bring in Josh Naylor, you bring back Eugenio Suarez, and the other guys, you know, that have had postseason experience, Caleb Ferguson and Luke Jackson in the bullpen. And so these guys have been there, they have done that, along with the 9 guys I talked about that were with this team, you know, 3 years ago, and they believe. And so they know to handle this situation, the excitement, the sellout crowd and everything. I was just talking to Danny Wilson on the pregame show interview. You have to try to slow the game down if you can. You've been there too. So it's different in that way. These guys are fired up. They know they can win. And this is a team, I believe, and they believe, they can get these fans to the World Series this year.
I'd say they're ready. We're still 3 hours from first pitch here.
I can't wait. Let's go play right now.
Yes. Yes. Well, give me your thoughts when we saw the rotation announced that George Kirby getting the nod in Game 1, Luis Castillo going in Game 2. For those that don't know, Brian Wu is not on the ALDS roster, which is a huge bummer, but they're hoping if they can push through the ALDS that he's going to be available for the ALCS. But just your thoughts when you saw that Kirby's getting the nod in Game 1.
I think Danny had a really good choice of any of the 3 guys, you know, with George or The Rock, Luis Castillo, or Logan Gilbert. But it was all centered around Brian Wu not being able to go in this series, so he's not on the roster. Still has the inflammation in his pec muscle, so he's going to be ready when the Mariners get to the American League Championship Series. So I think Danny talked about, you know, how successful George has been here at home at T-Mobile Park. I think that weighed into the factor, because that's one of the questions I asked Danny on the pregame show. So no matter who he picked, there was going to be a great pick. Either going to be Luis in Game 1, but I like Luis in Game 2 because Tarek Skubal, who started at Seattle University, is going to go for the Tigers in Game 2. The Mariners were 4-2 against the Tigers this year, and of the 4 wins, they beat Skubal twice. In both of those starts, Luis Castillo outpitched Tarek Skubal. And so there's The Rock again facing Tarek Skubal, you know, tomorrow night in Game 2. So I love the rotation. George Kirby is fired up. I think he's ready for this biggest start of his young career. And then you come back with Logan Gilbert. So I think that's what weighed in the decision to start off with George Kirby tonight. He's outstanding. Throw strikes. He's going to be right around the edges. He's going to battle. He's going to get deep in the game. He had a couple of starts this year where he didn't walk anybody in 7 innings. He struck out 14 in a game twice against the Angels. He's pitched very well down the stretch, and 2 of his last 3 starts were absolutely outstanding. So I think George is going to have a great game tonight.
I also agree. I think Kirby's going to show out and do some fantastic things. So as a playoff now radio broadcaster, do you prepare differently for today? Is this a different preparation than a regular season game?
I prepared like it was the 40th game of the World Series tonight. You know, I mean, taking all kinds of notes and listening to all the interviews. And, I'm ready to go. But it's basically, once the pregame show is over, which we have all this great information to, give to the fans, George Kirby and the Detroit Tigers and how they got there. There were 15 and a half games in front of Cleveland, and then the dive, and then try to tell that story. But once the game starts, that's what I love. And now it's all about baseball. It's all about George Kirby getting people out. It's about Cal Raleigh hitting a couple of home runs tonight, and Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena doing his thing, and Josh Naylor stealing 10 bases tonight, and that's the fun part. It's all about the players. It's all about the game, and that's what I love more than anything, being the eyes and ears for the fans so they can see the game when they're listening to it here on our radio station.
Well, you bring up Naylor, which is a big story for those who don't know. His wife could be having their first baby at any moment, in which case he's taken off to Arizona. So is there anything you can do to convince her to put that off until Monday?
I don't think there's anything I can do. If the baby's coming, it's coming. But Danny said that he's going to be here tonight. So that's good news, because the Mariners need him in the lineup. He was, I think the biggest trade deadline acquisition of any team, in the major leagues this year, what Josh Naylor did for this ball club with his bat, with his defense, with his expertise on the bases, stealing bases, and just his knowledge, his IQ, watching the game and watching what's going on and knowing how to take an extra base or knowing when to steal. And I mean, he started a 7-run rally a few days ago with a bunt single because the third baseman was playing way off the line. So hopefully Mrs. Naylor can hold off for a few days and have the baby during an off day, and Josh can be there and then get back. But he's in the lineup tonight.
All right, before we let you get out of here, Mariners go 1-1, 2-0. What do you say for the weekend?
2-0. Let's go 2-0 and make it easy when we go to Detroit. But this is a club that's it's primed to get to beyond the Division Series, beyond the American League Championship Series. We haven't been to the World Series. It's time to go to the World Series. And as Cal said, win the whole doggone thing.
That's exactly what he said.
I'm paraphrasing. And I need to. There's kids here.
That's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. It's going to be a sellout crowd. And we can't thank the fans enough the way they have supported this ball club. Ever since this all started in 1977 with Dave Niehaus, I wish he was here. But you fans have been absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see you inside T-Mobile Park. In a little while, we're going to get fired up. Get behind George Kirby right away.
You're a legend, Riz. We love you, man. We love you. I can't wait to hear you on the call.
Look, Chester is here. Chester Cheetos is here. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
Extra good luck. Extra good luck.
I'm going to say hi to Chester.
We love you, brother.
Love you too, Bobby. Charlie, great to see you, buddy.
Let's
love you
hear
guys.
it for the legend, Rick Riz.
Love you guys.
Coming up, we'll talk more about what's coming your way tonight in Game 1. Gary Hill, Mariners broadcaster, will join us on set here from Victory Hall as the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos, continues right here. Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changer is the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Too many breakup songs getting you down? Put a little bossa nova in the playlist. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Get a good-to-go pass to save $2 every time you use it, and on other toll roads in Washington.
Nothing beats your game day confidence. You knock on wood and the coffee table, and bite each chip exactly twice. This is our year, you whisper to your bobblehead. So when you buy this season's lucky jersey, you don't leave checkout up to chance. You use Pays, an online checkout offered by banks and credit unions. Rituals intact. Payment handled. Bobblehead still nodding yes. Shop with confidence at your favorite online stores. Visit Pays.com. That's PAZE.com. Terms and conditions apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown. Never let kids' toys take over the house. And never fill your feed with kid photos. You'd never plan your life around their schedule. Never lick your thumb to clean their face. And you'd never let them leave the house looking like less than their best. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it. Never let them stay up too late. And never let them run wild through the grocery store.
Peanuts on aisle 6 and aisle 3.
So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
We are coming to you live from Victory Hall. It is the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos right here. Seattle Sports on 710. Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush, and now we're joined by another voice of your Seattle Mariners. Gary Hill is here with us, everybody. Good to see you, man.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Awesome, Gary. How are you?
It's great to see you.
How excited are you for this? Because I know, like me, you're a long-suffering Mariner fan. This is not an opportunity we get very often. So last night for me was like, it's Christmas Eve.
Let's go.
It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super pumped. I mean, look at this place already. It's jam-packed. Everyone is so ready for this game. I cannot wait. I can't wait till the first pitch tonight. This building is going to be electric. We all know what it's going to be like tonight.
Yes.
Fans are going to be on their feet from pitch 1 tonight. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
I'll ask you what we asked Riz, and that is when we were all debating what the rotation should look like. You knew Wu wasn't going to go in game 1 or 2. I thought it was going to be Logan and Castillo, or Castillo and Logan. They go Kirby in game 1. A little bit of a surprise to you, or you like that move?
I kind of had a sense it might be headed in that direction, given what we saw from Kirby the last few starts. And I really feel like heading down the stretch, when you think about the Mariners rotation, that you could play the hot hand. When given the quality and depth of the rotation, you could go with the hot hand. You can go matchups, home road. Like, you can take all of those into account when you're thinking about, okay, who are you going to throw in game 1 and game 2? I just love the way Kirby's pitched the last few times out. Like, his stuff has been rocket fuel. We've seen a lot of punch-outs, a lot of whiffs. I think he's looked great. So I love that choice for number 1. I also like Logan Gilbert waiting for game 3 on the road. Like, I know we talk so much about game 1 and 2 for good reason, but no matter what happens in this first 2, maybe Mariners take a couple, maybe it's a split, whatever, you have Logan Gilbert waiting in game 3 in Detroit. And that's a good place to be.
It's a great place to be. I mean, arguably your ace going now in Game 3. So, you know, what do you think one of the biggest challenges this series the Mariners are going to face? Is it, you know, from a Detroit offense or Detroit pitching? Obviously, we know Skubal can do what he does, but, you know, what are other parts of this Detroit team that Mariners fans should be paying attention to?
Well, I think you hit on the first one. Skubal, for me, is the number one because he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think it's Skubal and Skeen side by side. And in a 5-game series, right, it shortens things pretty quick. So you're either going to have to win every game he doesn't pitch or beat him once. I mean, that's how it goes. And the way it lines up, he could be pitching in Game 5. So it'd be best if the Mariners didn't see a Game 5 with Skubal, right? And take care of it before then. I mean, that's the number one for me. The other thing I've been thinking about quite a bit with this Tigers team, I know they struggled down the stretch, but I'm a believer once the postseason starts, everything's new. None of that stuff matters. But A.J. Hinch is a manager who has been there and done that. He has managed a ton of postseason games. He's won a World Series, he's managed big games, he's managed close games, and he has a Detroit team that is conducive to pushing the right buttons in the right moments, whether it's pinch hitters off the bench, whether it's the relievers. Like today, I fully expect A.J. Hinch to be super aggressive. I think this is going to be a full bullpen day. I think we're going to need 6 or 7 pitchers from Detroit's side, and I think he's just going to try and match it up all day long, lefty-righty as much as possible. So when I think about Detroit and what is scary about them, I think there is an A.J. Hinch factor for me.
Well, we'll see if his factor is mitigated a bit since he can't cheat the way he did in Houston. Hey, facts, right? He was there. As far as what happened during the regular season, for whatever reason, the Mariners had Skubal's number. They beat him twice. They took 4 of 6 from the Tigers during the regular season. Does any of that matter in your opinion? Do they step up to the plate against, and I know we're looking past today's game, but do they step into the box against Skubal with a little bit more confidence than maybe another team would have based on what they did to him in the regular season?
Yeah, I think there's something to the confidence factor. I don't put any stock, they beat him twice, so they'll beat him again. So I don't think of it like that. But in the Mariners' minds, the hitters' minds, they know they've done it. Now, one of them was in April, and I don't know about you guys, but April seems like a lifetime ago for me when you think about how far away that was in the past. That was, Detroit's first win of the season was here in Seattle, right? Yeah. I mean, this is forever ago. So there's that part of it, and the Mariners have changed a lot since then. Detroit's changed a lot since then, and I would argue the Mariners have changed a lot for the better, especially.
And I think Dylan Moore and Donnie Barrels were part of the reason they beat those teams.
Absolutely, and you look at how they line up right now, and I think you love where the Mariners' offense is right now. So, is it a matchup they can win? For sure, they can beat Skubal again. It's just there is a reality to it where he's one of the best pitchers in the game, and to do it, you're going to have to play great. Like, you're going to have to pitch with him, go toe-to-toe, and probably steal it late against the bullpen.
For sure. As much as we want to talk about Cal Raleigh and his historic season, it's been amazing to watch, and all the great calls you've made. I actually want to talk about Dan Wilson and the difference I think that he's made for this team. Easy, Bob. Easy.
Did you almost fall?
He was so excited.
Charlie, you're
super
taking it the rest
excited.
of the way.
Exactly. I got you. I got it, man. You're good. You're good. But, you know, with the managerial change last year, he comes in late and then finally has the first full season. He seems to me like an X factor on this team that not many people are talking about, because clearly he's doing something inside that clubhouse that is bringing out the best in everyone. What have you seen?
Yeah, I'm always a believer, as important as a 7th inning pitching change or pinch hitting for a guy in the 6th inning, you know, the stuff that we see every day, as important as that is, I think the most important stuff, and Charlie, you can speak to this, happens behind the scenes. And especially nowadays, I think the manager job it's become a huge job, because you're managing not only all the guys in the clubhouse from all different parts of the world, all different experiences, and you're trying to push them in the same direction, but you're also managing your staff, you're managing the data, you're managing how the data is distributed to the players. There's all these things happening behind the scenes, and I think it especially gets tough when you're not playing well, and the Mariners went through that. You know, right before they ripped off their amazing September, It was a struggle in those last 2 road trips. So that's when I think a manager can really earn their money, when things aren't going well, to try and right the ship. And give Dan Wilson credit, because they're here. They did it.
Give me the biggest reason you think they get by Detroit, and maybe your biggest concern going into this series.
I think they're a complete team. I think they're a better team than Detroit. Now, it's a 5-game series, and it's the playoffs, so anyone can literally beat anyone in a 5-game series. So, but I just think they're a really good team, and they're a better team than Detroit. When you look at, whether you're talking about rotation, whether you're talking about back of the bullpen, or whether you're talking about offense, I just think the Mariners are a better team, and we'll see how it plays out. And the scary part is what I just mentioned. It's a 5-game series, man, and it's the playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think tonight is pretty critical. You know, with Scooble tomorrow, you don't want to go into a Scooble game down 0-1. So I only label must-win games when they're actually must-win, but this one feels pretty close to me, right? I think they've got to get tonight, because you can't go down 0-1 at home to Scooble tomorrow.
And I think the big reason why you get tonight, not only from the performance on the field, but the performance from the fans. The fans have been incredible all year, and you've gotten a front row seat. You know, how important has it been for this team to have this fan base really come alive this last month?
It's everything. This fan base is the best in baseball. And it's funny, because you can talk about any team you want in Seattle, whether it's the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Sonics when they're around, the Storm, Kraken, Huskies, Cougars. Go down the list. There is a common thread between all of them. The building is always loud, and it's a brutal place to play, and it can be intimidating. And I've been around, Bob, as you have too. I've been around here my whole life. And I can tell you this about Mariner fans tonight. Mariner fans are not coming to this game to watch passively. They're not coming to this game to be spectators, right? I guarantee you they are walking into the building tonight saying, I'm part of this team, and I'm going to do what I can to help this team win. I guarantee you that's how Mariner fans are feeling. And we're going to know it, because they're going to be loud, and it's going to be wild. I think Mariner fans are the best, and one of my favorite things in all sports is when you get to the playoffs, the relationship between a pitcher and the fan base, because it's going to be on tonight. George Kirby, he's going to go out there with the Mariners on his chest, and he's going to throw rocket fire for all of you fans. And the fans are going to give it right back, because they're going to be on their feet. Whenever there's 2 strikes, they're going to be yelling and screaming. That relationship between fan base and pitcher, there's nothing better, and it's going to be on display tonight. And I know Mariner fans are going to bring it. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
Well, and this fan base is aching for success in the postseason. I think the first strike he lands, the first out, first strikeout, the first base hit, that place is going to explode. And you touched on it, and I was hitting it this week. All of those teams you mentioned, there's a certain amount of pride and defiance in this fan base, because we're often feel like we're tucked up in the corner of the country and nobody pays attention, but they take pride in being known as being loud. The Seahawks fans, certainly the Sonics in the mid-'90s, and this fan base here, I can't imagine a building being louder than what we're going to experience here tonight and tomorrow. I just don't think there's another building in the playoffs. Yankee Stadium, Toronto, wherever you want to talk about. This is going to be it, man. This is a source of pride for this fan base.
Give me this building all day. Give me T-Mobile Park in the postseason all day long. I can't wait.
Gary, you do a great job, man. Love listening. Can't wait to hear you tonight. Appreciate it as always, and go M's.
It's going to be fun. Can't wait.
Gary Hill, everybody. Your Seattle Mariners. We appreciate you, brother. We're going to continue to talk about what's in store tonight. We got our Mariners insider, Shannon Dreher, joining us live from the booth over there at T-Mobile Park as we continue with the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changers, the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
A men's health moment with Revive Men's Health.
Low energy, low drive, weight gain, and mood changes can all be signs of low testosterone. Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has treated thousands of men for low T.
Learn more at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Mike Salk here, and it's now open. Hawks Peak, the place to be for game days this football season, with over 66 TVs indoor and outdoor. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Just like our favorite baseball team, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you book, and you'll knock it out of the park with 15% off and 12 months, no payments, and no interest. Schedule today before this deal is gone.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Maura Dooley. This is My Cause, My Voice. Rainier Adaptive Sports is where possibility meets opportunity. They offer a diverse range of programs and events, from ongoing activities to seasonal experiences, all designed to empower individuals with physical disabilities. The inclusive environment fosters community, helping friends and families break down barriers together. Join us in making a difference. For more information or to get involved, visit seattlesports.com/mycause.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Welcome to the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
The Seattle Mariners are champions in the American League West.
2 hours of special pregame coverage, counting you down to first pitch in the American League Division Series.
It is on its way. It is history. Cal Raleigh stands alone.
Now your host, Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Victory Hall here, Seattle Sports on 710. Charlie Furbush with me on set as the crowd is growing here. The band continues to play. And we're getting you set for what's to come tonight in Game 1 of the ALDS for your Seattle Mariners. We get a chance now to speak with our Mariners insider joining us live from the broadcast booth over at T-Mobile Park. Shannon Dreyer is with us. Shannon, how are you?
I'm doing well. It sounds pretty loud over there, Bob.
It's very loud. There are a ton of people that have been here since I got here, and they're beyond excited, obviously. The crowd is huge, and we're set up right next to the band. It's been very convenient, as you can hear. There was a drum solo. You missed a drum solo.
Have you joined in?
No, we've been on the air. Otherwise, I just demand I have a shot at jamming with these guys. But no, they've been playing. People are celebrating. Everybody's excited. What's your level of excitement about today? Because I was telling Gary and Riz that last night for me was like Christmas Eve, and I was just anticipating today. I could not wait for today to get here. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I've got a little bit of anxiety. How are you feeling as somebody that's been around the team as long as you have?
Well, I'm excited, and I think that's one of the special things of being where they're at right now, and they were able to have those 5 down days. Not that they didn't do anything, but we were without baseball in that time. And, kudos to what they did in the scrimmages. They were fantastic. Those crowds that showed up for those were some of the best crowds. They were small. They capped it at a smaller number, but the appreciation there and the excitement there was just huge and kind of helped keep it going. So there was a little bit of that, but when you get into the building and you just see the giant signage and just ALDS, and knowing that these games, every game is huge, and that this is something that they have played for and fought for so long, and not just this group, but all the groups that have been building up towards this, and to get it going, yeah, I think you speak for a lot of people when you do say that it does have the feel of the anticipation that you would have for Christmas morning or a big holiday or a big event or anything like that. This is something that it's special. It's special for the city. It's so special for the fans. And most of all, I think it is special for the 26 who are down in the clubhouse right now.
Shannon, it's been a pleasure listening to everything you do this year. Thank you for, all the work you do. I know all the Mariners fans are excited to get this weekend started.
Oh, you don't have to kiss up to her. She likes you. It's okay.
Your chair is open, Charlie.
Oh, perfect. But you've been around this group every day, and you mentioned this five-day break they had, which is kind of unique. But what's the overall mood and energy like as they headed into the clubhouse today?
Yeah, I think that it's very different than what we saw, say, in 22, when there was so little experience on that team in that situation. And I think there is real satisfaction in that they were able to finish job number 1. They're not finished by any means in their minds, but the finish for them was to get to the postseason, and preferably to do it by taking down the Astros, and they did that. So I think there's a lot of confidence that comes with that, and now they are in a different spot and where their expectations are huge. They've set their sights high, and that's something that has gone on for a long time with them, as far as, all the way back to spring training and the conversations that they had and the meetings that they had and what their focus has been all around. 162 is a journey, and they have certainly taken their lumps in that time, but they look at that as things that have made them stronger. And it's taken a lot to get to the group that you see right now. And then once you got that group, you lost them for a couple of weeks where they just stumbled horrifically and then seemed to turn it around on a dime. And that's because of the foundation that they had set early with this group. You've got a group of guys with a lot of confidence that are playing for each other and that are playing for the city, and understanding that this is something, and they have the chance to do something that no baseball team has done in the history of the Mariners for this city. So a lot of anticipation for what is to come. And then also they get to keep playing. This group loves to go out on the field together. They love to play in front of these fans. And I think the tougher and the situation is, the more they embrace it. So I think that there is a buzz that is down there right now. We talked to Victor Robles about that not too long ago, and he said that you can just feel it in that clubhouse, the excitement and the anticipation from the moment he stepped into it this morning.
One potential wild card here, Shannon, is Josh Naylor's wife could give birth at any moment. I didn't even know she was pregnant. Then we saw this news. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is, both great news. Obviously, congratulations to him and his wife, and that's a wonderful thing. I've got a gripe about the timing, but not up to me. And it explains why we saw Gino at first base in these scrimmages out there. So, what's your level of concern? Should Josh be called into action in Arizona with his wife, and then you've got Gino presumably at first base. Ben Williamson is on the roster, so he would take third base. But Naylor's been just such a catalyst for this team. He's been just such a massive piece of this run that they've made. The idea of him not being there makes me really uncomfortable. So give me your thoughts on that.
Well, the chances are good that's going to happen unless she delivers on one of the off days. And it was funny because the exact delivery due date is today. It's not this week, it's not yesterday, and it's today. But he is definitely out there. We saw him out there earlier in batting practice and going through the drills, and he will leave. He will go join her when it is time, which is great. He absolutely should. They will be able to add another player while he is on the paternity list, and I think the hope is it happens on an off day or a travel day, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. And yeah, it's a tough spot to fill, both offensively and defensively. He has done great things for the entire infielder, just fielding and handling everything that has been thrown his way. A smart player, and somebody who's really going to have to probably step up a little bit in that intensity, in that communication department in the dugout when he is out, and hopefully he shouldn't be out too long when that happens. You do pick up defense at third base. If you move Gino over to first base, you're going to lose some of the defense at first base when that happens. There's just no getting around it. But this, as far as the lineup goes, has been an offensive club from start to finish. And you can always, afford to have one or two that either aren't there or maybe a little bit scuffling. You just can't have the whole lineup there. So I think they can make up for him what he does with the bat, although it's always better to have him. There's no question about that. And then I think you got to cross your fingers on the defense if that happens. He's also been a huge part. I was talking to some guys yesterday and really helping those, particularly those who haven't been to the postseason before, in what to expect. I was told that he and Mitch Garver have been very key in that. Garver, of course, with a World Series experience with the Texas Rangers, and have been vocal about it and have been helping set the tone there. And, that's good to hear. You do have a ton of experience. It's not like there's only one or two guys, but you do have two guys that are a little bit more senior that have gone a little bit further than most have in that regard. And it's great to hear that they have not been shy in sharing that and in contributing in that way. So that you will lose again with Naylor when he goes out, but I don't suspect it should be too long when he does.
So let's talk about this wonderful pitching staff we have here. Obviously the rotation is a little banged up with Wu not making an appearance here in the DS, but let's go to the bullpen. It almost seems like a lot of these playoff games come down to an appearance or two or a big out or two late in the game. Who do you think could be a big X factor that maybe we're not talking about right now?
Well, I think it's going to be a group effort, really, by a lot of them. You hope that you get prime Andres Munoz and prime Matt Brash. That's when they are at their best as a bullpen, is when those two are completely on top of their games. And they both had some little stumbles down the stretch. But you hope those days of not just rest, but also a little bit of extra time to put in some extra work, some more concentration on things in the bullpen and in bullpen sessions that you can't do during the regular year because you might have to go out and pitch that night. So you hope that maybe a little tweak was made here or there, and that helps them. We've talked quite a bit about what Edward Bizzardo has done this year, and you hope that he can continue with that. Of course, he is well past innings that he has ever thrown in a season before. So again, you think that rest probably had the opportunity to help him out quite a bit. And then kind of an X factor, I'm really interested to see. Emerson Hancock really teased in his last regular season appearance when he came in, and all of a sudden he's throwing sweepers and he's changing sides on the mound. I'm sure Charlie has talked about this a little bit, but it was impressive stuff, and all the while working off like a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. So if he perhaps gets some innings and can show what he did in that last appearance, I think that's something that will help as well. Then, of course, the question is going to be, how is Bryce Miller utilized? And it would seem right now you probably need him to start Game 4 or at least be a major part of that. So I don't know how available he would be as a bullpen option.
Shannon, as always, great stuff. We appreciate it. If you'd like to come sit in with the band here, let me know. I can go put in a word.
Well, you've got a break. You can run right over there and start singing some tunes, Bob.
Shannon, we appreciate you. We'll see you later on. Thanks as always.
You got it.
There you go. There's our Mariners insider, Shannon Dreyer, giving us a little insight on what's to come with the Seattle Mariner team. We're going to talk about these lineups. They are out. Get a little feeling from Charlie Furbush as to where the Mariners have the advantage, maybe some concerns, all of that as we continue live with the Mariners Pennant Push, brought to you by Cheetos, live from Victory Hall. It's right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88! I said Blue 88! Every morning at 7:45, Brock Ewart tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
What's going on with the Seahawks run game?
You're 18th in the league overall at 111 rushing yards a game, and you're 28th in the league at 3.6 yards per carry. You would think that is precarious. Yet on the same token, on the other side of it, you are also 4th in the league in attempts.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic, because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer, participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Thanks, Rick. Just like October baseball, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you schedule, and you'll score 15% off, plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. This is your chance to swing big. This offer won't be around for extra innings.
Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
I'm Maura Dooley. This is My Cause, My Voice. Rainier Adaptive Sports transforms challenges into triumphs. Through a variety of engaging programs and seasonal events, they empower individuals with physical disabilities to explore new horizons. The inclusive community welcomes friends and families, uniting them in breaking barriers and embracing new experiences. Join us in creating opportunities for everyone to thrive. For more information or to get involved, visit seattlesports.com/mycause.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
We're coming to you live from Victory Hall, Mariners Pennant Push, brought to you by Cheetos. It's Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush with you as we get you set for what's to come with your Seattle Mariners. Huge crowd out here. This place was packed before I got here. I walked up, I had to stand in line to get in. It's amazing, and it's not surprising. I mean, this town, as we've said over and over, is absolutely thirsty for success in getting to the postseason and then getting through it. So this is amazing to see. You got the bands playing, you got people who are fired up, they're optimistic, they can't wait to get in that building. It's going to be electric tonight. And Charlie, the lineup looks much like it did in the regular season. The lineups are out. Arozarena, followed by Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. Josh Naylor is in the lineup, followed by Polanco, Gino Suarez, Dom Canzone DHing, Victor Robles in right field, and J.P. Crawford rounding out the 9. So I love that lineup. There are no holes in that lineup, whereas in years past we could go, once you get past this, I'm sure you as a pitcher probably looked at, if I get through these first 3 or 4, I feel good. I don't know where you feel good in this lineup.
Exactly. It's the lineup that has brought the Mariners this far, and it's exciting to see that they're rolling out with the same lineup. I think that's a huge confidence to the team overall. And like you said, this lineup is super thick, and it's just fantastic to go 1 through 9 and go, this is going to be a challenge for any team that they face. And you look at a lot of different guys in this lineup, and I think when we kind of peel the onion back, a guy we remember talking about back in April was a guy that needed to have a bounce back year in J.P. Crawford, and I think he's done that and more, and been a real X factor at the bottom of the lineup. And typically when you're facing the bottom of the lineup, it is a little bit easier to navigate, but ultimately the Mariners have got all the right pieces, and it's fantastic to see, and excited to see some runs on the board tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and they're going to be crucial. I mean, how big? I mean, game one, any game in the postseason is huge. That's stating the obvious. But we were just talking about it with Gary Hill. It feels like it puts added importance on game one to get that W because of who you're facing in game 2. And they have had success. It doesn't guarantee success against Skubal. You've beaten him twice. Third time might be asking a ton. So the idea of going against him in game 2, if you're down 0-1, no good. That puts a lot more emphasis on really doing what you can to pull this one out.
Yeah, game 1 is super important, and even more so. This is a home game, right? So these are the games you're supposed to win, and the Mariners have done such a good job at home this year. And a big thanks to everyone in this building. All the fans have helped them, really kind of build some momentum late in the game. So, I think game 1 is going to be, it's a great, I think, like kickoff. It's gonna build some momentum, and if you have a great, exciting win, it just can carry over into the next game. And I know, Skubal is pitching tomorrow, but the Mariners have shown this time and time again. It doesn't really matter who's pitching. They're able to take down aces across the league. They're able to score some runs off these guys and feel like, oh, okay, they're not going to strike out 14, right? It's going to be a little harder against this lineup, and I think the Mariners continue to show that no matter who they're facing, they're always going to have tough at-bats. And when you got a guy like Cal Raleigh doing what he's doing, and not to mention, I think Julio is another guy we need to continue to talk about. He's had a really good year, and I think he's still not where we want him to be in terms of that MVP caliber player. But when you look at the numbers he's producing in the 3-hole, it's been another force, especially this second half.
Can you imagine playing in this environment with what's at stake? I mean, just the level of adrenaline that's going through every player's body over there. How hard do you think it is to harness that, to not let it be an impediment, and maybe obviously guys are going to be key that have been through it. Shannon brought up Garver, has gone through a World Series. Naylor, I think this is the 4th time he's been in the postseason. Certainly Julio was there as a rookie. Cal was there, but now they've got years under their belt. But how crucial is it for them to really try to, all right, take a breath, treat it like every other game, even though it's not?
Yeah, that's the magic potion everyone's trying to figure out for guys that have never experienced it, is how do we relay this and give them any sort of preview information that allows them to then make this transition, if you will, into the playoffs not seem so hard or difficult, because the game will speed up on you. You couple that with what you want to do personally. You want to help out the team. You want to do great. So there's a lot of emotions that are flying through, and it takes guys that have been there before. Garver, I mean, another guy, Luke Jackson. He said, I remember I talked to him last week. He said he's been to the playoffs like 10 seasons in a row for all the teams he's played on. So he's able to, if you can relay these messages to guys to make this like another game, that's going to be huge, because everyone, I think, knows it's the playoffs. They know what's going on in the background, but in order to kind of remove that and treat it like another game, you kind of have to experience before anything. So it really helps that this team has some experience. It also has experience in losing some tough playoff games. So hopefully this just gives the Mariners that much more faith going into whatever situation they've come across, because they continue to show out late in games and win one-run games. It's a great team, and I think that's why they're favored to win the World Series.
Yeah, just looking at the Tigers lineup, they put that out there. Gleyber Torres leading off, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green hitting third, Spencer Torkelson hitting cleanup, Colt Keith, Dylan Dingler, Zach McKinstry, Javier Baez, Parker Meadows, and Troy Melton is obviously getting the start for this team. But when you look at that lineup, obviously Riley Green can do damage. We've seen different guys step up. Carpenter has done it, Gleyber Torres has done it, Dingler's done it as of late. I don't have the same level, and Javi Baez has kind of been resurgent. He was looked at as a bit of a bust with that signing. But when you look at this lineup, how tough is that to navigate for George Kirby?
I don't think it'll be as tough as maybe some of these guys have been playing lately, and ultimately the lineup as a whole hasn't been, when you look at like the last 2 weeks, right, they haven't really been doing very well. So once you get in the playoffs, it's obviously a different beast, different story. But, I think the Tigers are going to do the best they can right now when you look at it to fit as many left-handers in that lineup to kind of off-balance any sort of, pitches going away from the right-handed hitters. So I think that's the best remedy that they have. But I also, when you look back at Kirby, I still think that we're going to see a mean, angry Kirby from inning one, and it's going to be apparent that he's out there and out there for business, and wouldn't be surprised to see a couple 99s on the radar gun inning one.
A mean, angry Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's arguably his best version of himself is when he's out there.
Furious George.
Yeah, pitching with intensity and intent. And you've seen a couple games this year where he's striking out 14 guys 2 different times.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't we love to see that? A nice 7-inning, 14-inning.
I'd really love to see that.
Wouldn't that be great? Hand it off to Brash, hand it off to Munoz. Just an easy win for the Mariners.
Yeah, I'd love a nice one-sided blowout. I'd love Kirby just to lock them down for 7, get to Brash, get to Munoz, just cakewalk through the first game, go into that second game with a boatload of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put too much on game 1, but I just think it is so crucial. Just if it wasn't Scooble in game 2, look, there's a ton of good pitchers, and we've seen the Mariners get shut down by guys I felt they had no business being shut down by. And they've beaten Scooble, they've beaten Crochet, they've beaten the elite in baseball. So going into that game tomorrow is certainly not an impossible task. But I think it does become decidedly harder if you're 0-1. I think that is a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge thing, because you're going against a guy who is coming off 14 Ks in the playoffs, feeling great, and it's going to be, I think this will be fun to watch as these games unfold, is, how many decisions get made, and are they different than what we've seen? Like Shannon mentioned, how soon do we see Bryce Miller out of the bullpen?
Yeah.
How soon does Hancock show up? And where do the changes that happen throughout the game get made? And at some point or another, I think you'll see it's all hands on deck, right? And you're going to have to say, well, everything's on the table. What is the best situation that we can now throw ourselves in to give ourselves a chance at success? And it'll be fun to watch. And that's where, I think, Dan and Jerry and everyone in the baseball ops department is doing everything in their power to prepare all these guys for any situation that comes up, so that when it does pop up, it becomes second nature and they can just do what they've always done.
Hey, still to come on the program, Aaron Goldsmith will join us live from the booth coming up at 4 p.m. Also, Jon Morosi of MLB Network will be joining us live on set as soon as he gets through his travels. I think he's landed. I don't know if he's on the light rail. He's working his way to the building here, so he's going to have to work his way through the ocean of fans that are here, but he'll be here as well.
What a great problem to have. All the fans are here acting amazing, and They're not just thirsty for wins. I think they're thirsty for a few more things here. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
That's right. It's all available here. So all of that still to come as we continue with the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos, right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changers, the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. The spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
This is Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
We are live at Victory Hall. Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush with you. Coming up at 4 p.m. Aaron Goldsmith will join us live from the booth over at T-Mobile Park. Also, Jon Morosi of MLB Network will join us here live on set once he finds his way through the ocean of people out here at Victory Hall. Hatback Bar and Grill. Got a band playing out there. People out here pre-gaming. I saw people out there, they were tailgating. You don't see that for baseball very often. The only place I ever saw that is when I lived in St. Louis for 1 year for the opening day for the Cardinals, and baseball's religion out there. That city shuts down and they're tailgating all day. I saw that walking over here, which was a cool thing. You're out here 5 hours before first pitch. It's an amazing amount of energy that's going on around here. People
doing
fired
it
up.
Right.
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
I can't wait, Charlie, for strike one. First strike Kirby throws. First strikeout. First base hit. You know that place is going to explode in that building. I mean, it just is the calling card for Seattle. They take a tremendous amount of pride in their ability to create volume. And I think we're going to experience it tonight.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm hoping for a nice first inning Cal Raleigh. Bomb to right. Can you
imagine him or Julio? Him or Julio go deep.
Well, you look at, we're watching the Blue Jays here. They just took a 5-1 lead with the Yankees, but a lot of these games are won by the long ball. So, and the Mariners finished third in the league in home runs, and even better with their stolen bases. So I think they're going to take the same approach and just continue to, hammer out runs in any way they can.
So far, we're seeing the home teams. Milwaukee hammered the Cubs 9-3 in Game 1 of their division series. You just brought up Toronto just increased their lead 6-1 over the Yankees in Toronto. So the home teams, to this point, that one's not over yet, but it's bottom of the 7th. They're up by 5. Home teams holding serve, so that's putting a little expectation on the Mariners here in Game 1. Is there a player you look at beyond the bigger names, beyond Cal, beyond Julio, beyond Randy, Gino? You think, keep an eye on this guy? Because we were talking about X factors, talking about some of the guys that could step up, and my immediate answer to that was Polanco and Canzone. Canzone has been hitting really well since he's been called back up from AAA. He's not a guy that comes in with a ton of expectation the way the other names do, but those are two guys I think kind of quietly could be really damaging in a way for the Tigers.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that take, but for me, I think the biggest X factor from the offensive side of things is going to be Randy Arozarena. I think his prior playoff experience.
Playoff Randy.
Yeah, and I think that could be an absolute game changer. And I look at this path to the World Series of where they're at, and I know their pitching staff can do great things, but I'm still on the side that they're going to hit their way to the World Series. This offense is going to be the big reason why they get there. It's not just going to be 1-run, 2-run games. I feel like this offense can catch fire like they have this past month and kind of, run with it. And Randy seems like the guy that, can be the X factor based on what he's done in the past, and he can certainly lead, as a pseudo power hitter hitting from the leadoff spot. It's kind of crazy. So I go Randy. Although Canzone and Polanco are two fantastic picks because they extend the lineup. They are the reason why this lineup is more tough, and it's not just some no-name guy in the 7th hole.
I feel like you just answered it, but I've been asking this question. I asked it during the regular season, and then now that the regular season is done, do you have more confidence in what you're going to see from the rotation or from the lineup?
I still think the lineup, to me, as much as the rotation has a little bit more answers, I think it all, because it stems back with the inevitable health of Brian Wu. And I think that's where, if we're not answering that question or having to ask that question, then yeah, I would say I 100% have more confidence in the pitching staff, because what Brian Wu's consistency did all year, and he just seemingly showed up time and time again, was going to give you six innings. So now I lean back. I think this offense is the real reason.
How aggressive do you want to see this team get in the way of small ball? Because it feels like runs could be at a premium, especially when you're facing Scooble and people like that. Do you force the issue? Do you get more aggressive on the base paths? Are you laying down bunts to move runners? Are you playing for that run? Or do you go business as usual? We're going to do what we do. We're not going to alter it.
Some of it's situational. I do think that they should stick with their same approach and try and steal as many bags as they can. it really is going to cause havoc and make pitchers uncomfortable. So, obviously with Naylor coming over and stealing all those bags, but in general, the team has done a great job of getting to second base so well. So I say continue that approach. And with the bunting aspect of trying to get runs in, I've had this conversation time and time again with a lot of different people. I think the general viewpoint is that bunting is easy, right? And no, it's
clearly not, because very few can do it.
And even when you practice it during batting practice. You don't practice it during the game.
And it's not even really practice. They go up there first 2 pitches, doink, doink. All right, now I'm going to hit.
Yeah, and then you have the other aspect is it more like what looks worse? Is a hitter not getting it done by swinging and striking out, or a guy that has a terrible bunt or doesn't even look like he knows how to bunt, right? I think there's an optics there of people kind of get pulled in different directions. So the bunting aspect is going to be like, all right, well, pick and choose your times where you think it's valuable to bunt, but maybe, stick to the long ball here and hope for the best.
How much does that alter your pitch? You call a pitch. I'm going to throw a slider here. You see the guy turn around, square up the bunt. Are you changing mid-motion? All right, I'm going to bring that ball up. I'm going to try to get, jam him up and in. Or do you try to alter it in that split second when you see them square up?
Yeah, I mean, if you see him square, then yeah, I would say the first thought is just try to get the ball a little higher so he pops it up. Right? The bunters always want to get it down on the ground so they can start running it. So if you can notice it right away and just make a last-second tweak, or just hold on to the ball for a quarter second longer so it just comes out of your hand a little later and will finish higher, you try to, but once you realize that this guy's going to bunt, okay, yeah, all right, now I need to figure out making sure I'm focused on the situation, who's on base, where can I throw this ball, where's the third baseman. So there's little variables to take into it once you know someone's bunting. So it's very fascinating, but from an approach standpoint, offensively, it's still going to be something that we'll watch as what the Mariners did or didn't do, whether they bunted or didn't bunt. But from a pitching aspect, it's more of a, that there will be times it may pop up, but all you're trying to do is get the bunter to pop it up. That's just the best way you can do it, no matter what pitch you're feeling comfortable with, because it may be, I was throwing slider, but I think I'm just going to go fastball up and make him try and bunt this, and make him try and bunt this pitch up in the air and make a mistake on his own.
I would imagine we'd see Detroit more in the line of maybe trying to manufacture runs. They don't rely on the long ball the way the Mariners do. Very few teams in baseball have produced as many of their runs by the long ball as the Mariners have. And Detroit's not one of those teams. Right. So do you see them being that team that's aggressive, trying to get that extra 90 feet, steal bases, move runners, manufacture runs?
100%. Yeah, I think they're going to try and do everything they can to manufacture runs and get them across the board. Just because I think they know their offense isn't built that way. It's not built to, ride and die with a long ball where you got a bunch of guys that have 30, 40 home runs in the lineup. So you're going to have to do it different ways. And when you look at the way the lineup is built, they're kind of a scrappy lineup, bat to ball contact. They hit the ball hard, but I would expect to see a lot of different approaches to try and get runs for Detroit, because I think they maybe they don't know it, but we know it. They're a weaker team than we are. So they're going to try and do everything they can in their power to get runs across the board. And they know they're up against it with this pitching staff.
All right, we continue live from Victory Hall. Coming up at 4 p.m., we'll speak with Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners. Coming up, hear a bit from Dan Wilson talking about the advantage of the bye week and the advantages he sees benefiting his team as we continue with the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos, right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changers, the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
A little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
For Arnold and Progressive, this is Turtle 30-second radio. The code is QRPI 0701000. 30 seconds radio stereo.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like replacing my bike in case of an accident?
Progressive's total loss coverage can help with that.
Great. And you also agree with me that my riding club should ride to the aquarium instead of cruising around a mountain, right?
Actually, we just do insurance. We don't vote in riding clubs.
Nice. 2 votes for the turtle exhibit.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
What are you, some kind of turtle hater?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
This is Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
We continue live from Victory Hall. Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush with you. Coming up at 4 p.m., Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners, will join us on the program, as well as Jon Morosi of MLB Network, weekly guest with us with Wyman and Bob. One of the great guys out there. Have you ever had a chance to meet Jon Morosi?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Detroit guy. We came,
Oh, that's
I
right.
Came up
okay.
Detroit,
okay. I forgot about that connection.
Yeah.
Just a truly great guy. So all of that still to come as we get you prepped and ready for game number 1 between the Mariners and Tigers and the ALDS. This place is buzzing. There are lines around the block. Just an ocean of fans out here. It's just amazing to see. Wanted to get to some of the sound we haven't had a chance to hear. Want to get to cut number 11, actually. This is Jay Buhner from earlier in the week, and we were talking about, I was asking you just about the intensity and the vibe, the adrenaline, how do you sort of marshal that? He was talking about how you balance being locked in for the playoffs and staying calm.
Oxygen is your best friend, man. Really is. Deep breaths,
make sure you breathe, visualization, and just trusting that it's, that it's going to work out, man. But really and truly, it's sitting back, taking a deep breath from time to time, and just kind of trying to settle the nerves as much as you can. And but it's just part of the deal, man. It's part of it. That's the beauty of it, man. Is when you get in that, you never know how the body's going to respond, and that's what makes it. When you can step up and come through for your team, makes it even that much more gratifying.
Who knew Cheetos and breathing are the key to success?
That's it. Go Cheetos, go.
I mean, it's got to be. He's obviously telling you how you're going to stay calm, but I don't know that you're going to be able to fight the adrenaline and the anticipation and everything out there. But I can't oversell how important it is, I think, to have those experienced guys out there. You talk about Randy's success out there. Naylor's been there multiple times. Garver's been through a World Series. Again, Julio was a rookie when they went through it with Cal. And so they've, for the most part, this entire lineup has had experience. So this isn't, whoa, what are we in store for? It just doesn't happen as often out here.
For sure. And it'll be way easier in so many ways to deal with the first-time nervousness, anxiety-driven game at home, right? I mean, this is great that they can kind of get their feet wet for a couple of these young guys and feel what it feels like, and at least feel the crowd. I mean, the crowd is a big reason why a team has gone as far as they have gone, but the real test will be when they get to Detroit, because all the fans will now be yelling against them. So it'll be nice if the Mariners can take two and not have to worry about, if they do falter, they still have 3 more games to, get a win in advance.
They can't get as loud in Detroit, though.
That's true.
I don't think it's going to compare to this. I really don't. This another one. This is from Jeff Passan, cut number 13. Back in 22, the Mariners played the Astros, and the Astros at that time said the Mariners were the best team they faced that entire year. This 2025 team is decidedly better, according to Jeff Passan.
What I remember coming out of that series, and especially at the World Series that year, is Astros players saying that the Mariners were the best team that they played. And looking at that Mariners team and this Mariners team, this one is so much better.
I mean, it's really not close, right? I mean, you look at that offense, and we were looking through the numbers the other day, what they did in that postseason. You had one guy who really had a good postseason. That was Geno Suarez. Then he hit like 350. The next closest was Mitch Haniger, who hit 238. Then you had like Julio hitting 217. And it was Dylan Moore, and it was people like that. It was not a good offense. It just wasn't. And that was a nip and they took out the Blue Jays, and it's that nip and tuck battle with the Astros. So if that team with that offense can do what they did against a decidedly better Astros team, you just feel like this is their form. This is their form right now.
For sure. And it's so nice too that the Astros aren't even involved in this right now, right? I know we have had our hatred against the Astros, rightfully so, right?
100%. Yeah. Look, the manager of the Detroit Tigers was the manager of the Astros when they were cheating.
That's right.
And that's A.J. Hinch. So I've got no love lost for him.
That's right.
He's still a cheater.
Once a cheater, always a cheater, right?
100%.
Exactly. But yeah, you're right. This lineup is night and day difference in top to bottom how they're performing. So it's like I keep going back to it. I think that's going to be the biggest X factor, because when the lineup shows up and can give these starting pitchers a run or two of a lead to pitch in, it changes everything, and it makes the starters that much better. So yeah, as much as we put a lot of stock into the pitchers for what they've done, and rightfully so, they've done so well for so many years. I think the offense is going to be the reason why the team goes where they go, because ultimately pitching's easier than hitting.
This one comes from Adam Amin talking about this matchup, cut number 9, and he's talking about what it is he's looking forward to seeing in this matchup between the M's and the Tigers.
School Bowl pitching, in his old stomping grounds, so to speak. He loves, obviously he cares a lot about Seattle. My guess is he's going to pitch on Sunday in Game 2. And as soon as we know that for sure, we're going to be building up every time Cal Raleigh comes to bat against Tarek Skubal. These are two of the elite players at their positions, in their positions, their roles for their particular teams. You saw what Skubal did, obviously, the other day. The storyline of Skubal being a Seattle U guy, but being beaten by the Mariners twice this season. They're one of the few teams that have beaten Tarek Skubal twice. He had that great stretch. I think it was like 16 starts where he went 10-0. And the 2 losses he suffered on the top end and back end of that were against the Mariners. So, they've played him well. Luis Castillo's pitched well against him. I think the pitching for Seattle is something that sticks out in a big way, especially, considering when, if at all, Brian Wu is going to pitch in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what everybody's looking forward to. Now, we know Wu will not pitch in this series. He is not on the ALDS roster, which is a huge bummer. But, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to point to the same thing. Skubal is the one name. I'm wondering how the rest of that rotation feels. They're not even being mentioned, whether it's Flaherty, whether it's Mize. It's all about Skubal.
That's it. Well, I think the one thing we haven't talked about is how nervous he's going to be pitching tomorrow, right? I mean, he has had a tremendous season, Cy Young caliber, right? I mean, chance he wins it again. But like we just heard, the Mariners have gotten to him. So that's on his mind, that he's going to try and do something different or try harder. And I think that's going to play into the Mariners' favor right now. And he's going to, come back to Seattle and feel like he has to strike out 14. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners get 4 or 5 off him. Just said, it ain't going to happen today, bud. So, yeah, I'm anticipating a Skubal, little nervous Nelly out there,
I hope so. I hope he crumbles. I mean, right. I know he went to Seattle U. He's got those ties. But, yeah, I want to see him crumble. This one comes from Adam Amin as well. He's just talking about this in cut number 10. The differences, and we were talking about this, comparing the 2022 Mariners team versus this 2025 version. Here's what he had to say.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just the general sense that I get. 3 years ago when this team made the playoffs, it was like a fun thing. It was like, oh, man, finally, they made it. Cal Raleigh, walk off. They're going to the postseason for the first time in 20-plus years. And it's like, all right, that was a great game. They lost the Astros. I know that was an awesome 18-inning game, but okay, whatever. They finally got back. Now let's make it happen. The last 2 years felt a little bit torturous to miss out by a game, to keep missing out. This doesn't feel like a cute story to me anymore, like just watching the Mariners. They feel like in what I think is a wide-open American League and, frankly, a wide-open playoffs, this feels like a legitimate contender. This isn't a cute story, I think, for people, and I want to make sure that when we hit the air on Saturday, that might be one of the first things we say to try to introduce the team again.
He's right. There's nothing cute about it. There's expectation. I think he's right in that the attitude back then was relief. Oh, they broke the drought. First time since 2001, 2 decades.
Finally.
Since you'd been to the postseason. Yes. So there was more, I'm not going to say they were satisfied. They won the first the wild card round, and it was a crazy battle with the Astros. But I think there was a sense of relief, and yeah, it was fun, and what a great story. That doesn't work here now. Now there's expectation. You won the division for the first time in 24 years. You were the best team in that division. And if you look at Vegas odds, they're the favorite to come out of the American League. So there's expectation now rather than relief and, hey, what a fun little story.
It's amazing. And that's what they talk about in spring training. You show up, and the message is, yeah, we want to get to the playoffs. We want to win the World Series. But the best path is to win the AL West. And every year they go and talk about trying to take down the AL West. And obviously the Astros have been a thorn in our side for years. And it's so nice that hopefully, maybe today, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, how nice would it be when the gates open right before the game starts, they put that banner, that 2025 AL West champ banner, and unveil it. Wouldn't that be kind of fun today?
Be amazing.
Right? Another way to throw the fans into a frenzy.
Oh, yeah.
It may not happen.
I don't
think
they need any help.
Yeah, you know.
I don't think the fans need any help getting stirred up into a frenzy coming up. All right, we're going to be talking with the voice of your Seattle Mariners. Aaron Goldsmith will join us, as well as Jon Morosi of MLB Network, here live on set at Victory Hall. The Mariners Pennant Push continues right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changers, the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Just like our favorite baseball team, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you book, and you'll knock it out of the park with 15% off and 12 months, no payments, and no interest. Schedule today before this deal is gone.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Welcome to the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
The Seattle Mariners are champions in the American League West.
2 hours of special pregame coverage, counting you down to first pitch in the American League Division Series.
It is on its way. It is history. Cal Raleigh stands alone.
Now your host, Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Victory Hall here, the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos on Seattle Sports on 710. Charlie Furbush on set with us, and now we get a chance to speak to the voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, joining us from the booth. Aaron, how are you, man?
Gentlemen, great to be with you. How are you doing?
Excited, nervous. I've been anticipating this day for a long time. It's here. I cannot wait to get it underway, and you sit there and go through every possible scenario. What if this happens? What if this guy does this? What if Josh Naylor's wife goes into labor in the third inning. You know, all of those things. How do you approach this? Are there nerves or excitement? Where are you at?
Well, I couldn't be more excited. I'm not nervous. I can't explain why that is, but I certainly understand anyone else's nerves that kicking in right now. No, but I'm super jacked for this, and the whole journey the Mariners are about to go on, and it does feel so different this year, where the Mariners are and what their expectations are, and not just them, but the fan base. I think everybody involved. But I think this is a team in the Tigers that the Mariners can match up okay against. They do have a lot of lefties in their lineup. I guess that is a little bit of a concern for me. I'm not nervous about it, but it maybe is a little bit of a concern. But I think that outside of Tarek Skubal going tomorrow, you feel like you've got the starting pitching advantage every time out, which is not uncommon for the Mariners. And they've been one of the better offenses in baseball for the last couple of months as well. So I think when you look at it from the other perspective, in this case the Tigers looking at the Mariners, there's a lot of things for the Tigers to be nervous about, certainly facing one of the more complete teams in the playoff race right now.
Aaron, so good to hear your voice, by the
Charlie,
way.
how good does your hair look right now?
If I only wasn't wearing a hat.
Looks great what's showing under the hat.
That's right. You know, unfortunately, yes, it does look very, very good. Question for you. So I keep going back to this point of the year where the Mariners were on the East Coast and you got to witness a wonderful team meeting behind the scenes in Tampa. Seemingly could be the turning point of the season. You know, at what point do you think that, like, after that meeting, the team kind of flipped a switch?
You know, Charlie, I would pose the question back to you. I was not in the room, obviously, for the team meeting, and I don't know how much impact that had. Maybe it had all the impact, maybe it had very little. The Mariners did, for whatever it's worth, they did lose the next few games after the team meeting. I think for me, the bigger point is this is an incredibly talented 26-man roster. It was then, it remains now. And when you're dealing with a team that on paper is as talented as the Mariners were and are, at some point you are believing in the talent in the room, and you are believing that it will manifest itself on a more consistent and regular basis. And that is eventually what ended up happening. And the Mariners got hotter than the sun for the final few weeks of the regular season, and they rode it to a division championship and a first-round bye. How much of that was the meeting? I don't know. Probably something there, but I think it's way more the people in that clubhouse than maybe what was said in that meeting. Now, what was said maybe needed to be said, and maybe it did, Charlie, to your point, kind of galvanize and jumpstart things. But the bottom line is this isn't like some magic trick the Mariners are pulling right now, some rabbit out of the hat where all of a sudden they became a good team. Like, they had all the makings of being a really good team, and it finally started to show through day in and day out for weeks on end to finish the year.
Aaron, we've got a legend on set with us here, our buddy, our pal. You know him, you love him from MLB Network. Jon Morosi is here with us. Say hello to Aaron.
Aaron, how are we doing, buddy? Congratulations.
Oh, buenas tardes, John. How are you today?
Está trabajando en tu español. Habla maravillosa. I'm very impressed by your Spanish, Aaron. That's very, very good.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations, and listen, great calls all season long. I've been following from Michigan, and this is obviously a dream series for so many of us, including Charlie, being on both sides of the rivalry there. So this is going to be a great series ahead.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that J.P. Morosi was on site with us here. Nobody told me that.
I'm here. I'm actually here. Yes.
Live in person. How about that? It's not often we get this guy out to Seattle. It's got to be a special occasion, and this is it. This is it.
I didn't mean to interrupt the interview, Aaron. I just wanted to stop in and say hello and congratulate you on everything you've done this season, the way that you bring the excitement of this great season to the fans here. So I got to tell you, Aaron, I've been around a lot of playoff environments. Just the streets around T-Mobile right now, this is unlike anything I have ever seen anywhere. All the people, all the excitement, a huge credit to the Mariner fans. It's been really, really impressive.
Well, John, we'd like to take your shirt off and rub some body paint on you and give you a wireless microphone and send you up and down. And we'd like some man-on-the-street interviews from you, JP, because we know one thing, you could bilingual this thing for us.
Sure.
John, it's so great to have JP here. I got to tell you, JP is one of my favorite people in baseball. He's as knowledgeable as anybody in baseball. And most importantly, he always brings a smile to the workplace. So, JP, I love you, my brother. It's great to have you.
Thanks. Likewise, man. Congrats.
He brings it to Wyman and Bob every single week, our favorite segment of the week. But Aaron, let me ask you just about the decision to go with George Kirby in Game 1. Were you? I was thinking Logan, Castillo, Logan in these two games. It's Kirby and Castillo. Any surprise to you in that? And what do you, just rationale-wise, why does it make sense to go with Kirby in 1 and then presumably Logan in 3?
Surprise, maybe a little bit when I first heard the news that it would be Kirby as opposed to Gilbert. I think it comes down to, A, who do you want pitching at home versus on the road, and B, the hot hand. Both have thrown the ball well to end the year. Kirby, the home numbers favor him. Now, you could say that about basically every Mariners starting pitcher outside of Brian Wu. I would also say that when you look under the hood of the home-road splits for Kirby, some of this have been just 2 real catastrophic blow-up starts on the road, and that has kind of torpedoed his home-road numbers. But I think either one of those guys, since we're talking about Kirby and Gilbert for Game 1 starter, either one of those guys have a case to be made. Maybe you feel a little bit better about Gilbert on the road than you do with Kirby. Gilbert certainly gives you some great ability against lefties because of that splitter. That is something that maybe he has more than any other starter outside of Wu for the Mariners, so any healthy starter. And then, to me, Game 2 with Castillo really becomes kind of a slam dunk, because if Wu's not available, which he obviously isn't, and you're going to need to use Castillo, you certainly want him pitching at home. He has been so great here at home this year. And there is, the Mariners would never say this, but there is a little bit of a sneaky element of him going up against Skubal. I think Castillo maybe has the biggest gap between his ceiling and his floor of what he could turn out tomorrow. Like if Castillo went 6 shutout innings tomorrow, I don't know if it would necessarily surprise anybody, especially with what he's done at home this year. But if he struggled and it was a shorter hook on him and they went to the bullpen tomorrow, that maybe wouldn't surprise people either. And so you have that up against, maybe the best starting pitcher in the playoffs, obviously, in Skubal. So in a game that you feel like is going to be tough to get to begin with. So I certainly understand for a variety of reasons Castillo going in Game 2.
Aaron, you've had some iconic calls this year. Obviously, Cal's done some historic things, but when you're making calls like that, how do you balance the emotion and objectivity, when you're calling huge moments for this team you've been around all year?
Well, it's certainly nice of you to say, Charlie. It's been a real thrill to be behind the microphone for as many moments as the Mariners have provided, and certainly Cal has been at the top of that list. I think when moments like that happen, and some of them you can foresee, like that the next home run for Cal is going to be number 60, so you can certainly get geared up for that, and others are more unforeseen and just the spur moment of a game. I think you want to just trust your emotion. You want to trust your kind of baseball gauge for how big of a moment this is at the time. Like the Victor Robles catch in Houston would maybe be a good example of something you didn't see coming. And you just hope that you can help channel what that moment means to the team and what it means to the fan base. And you channel that by what you say and how you say it. And the words you choose and how excited you get when you say them. So it is something that when you've done it enough times, hopefully it becomes second nature. And you just hope that you do the moment right, because whether it's Cal hitting 60 or that catch by Robles in Houston or maybe something we see tonight, you just know that those things don't come around very often. And it's just such a thrill to have the opportunity to be on the microphone when something like that does happen.
Aaron, we appreciate you as always, man. Can't wait to hear the calls you make during this series. You know they're going to be gold. So as always, we appreciate you, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Adios, guys. JP, you as well. Thank you.
Gracias. Nos vemos. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
There you go. There's Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners. We're going to continue live here from Victory Hall with our buddy Jon Morosi on set with us right here. It's the Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos, Seattle Sports on 710.
3 hours before first pitch of every Mariners playoff game, it's the Mariners Pennant Push, featuring former Mariners pitcher Charlie Furbush.
It's game changers, the crowd here.
MLB Network insider Jon Morosi.
Cal Raleigh to be the MVP, it would look exactly like it looks.
Hosted by Bob Stelton.
They got a lot of love, deservedly so, at the trade deadline.
Tomorrow at 2. Then it's Game 2 between the Mariners and Tigers. First pitch at 5:03, where you hear the American League West champion Mariners in the postseason. Seattle Sports.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer, participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. The spouse says, "Thank you. I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mariners Pennant Push, served up by Cheetos.
We continue live at Victory Hall. You're listening to the Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos. It's a Cheetos thing. Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush, and our buddy Jon Morosi of MLB Network is on set with us. Before we turn everything over to the Mariners pregame show, John, I want to get your take on what we've seen so far today. So far, the home teams have held serve. The Brewers just smashed the Cubs. And the same is true for the Blue Jays and Yankees, 10-1.
Yes. Bob and Charlie, first of all, it is great to be with you here in person, officially to join the show here, and to just see the enthusiasm for the Mariner fans all around us. This is really a sight to behold. To your point, if I'm a Mariner fan watching today's games, I'm feeling pretty good, because all this talk about long layoffs, right now the host teams, so all the teams that had the layoff, are outscoring the visitors today by a count of 22-4. 22-4. So that would suggest that, especially those teams that I think were creative in how they went about the time in between. The Mariners, I know, had inter-squad games. That became kind of a popular thing that teams were doing to stay sharp. And I think that what we're seeing so far today is that teams took a really thoughtful approach to it, got the most out of the break, rested their bodies, got themselves recuperated, and came out with a really good offensive approach. So to me, Charlie, I'm seeing 22-4, including 3-0 for the Phillies against Ohtani, tells me that the teams that had layoffs are doing just fine offensively today.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. You speak about the playoff baseball in the Pacific Northwest. It's unfortunately been non-existent for quite some time, right? You know, how important is it for baseball to have, Seattle Mariners reestablished as a postseason team moving forward?
I think it's crucial, Charlie, because I grew up certainly in the 90s. So for me, like the 95 team, even though I was living in the Midwest, you wanted to stay up late. You wanted to watch this team. And Griffey, of course, came around. I've always said this. He was the perfect player for the ESPN highlight era. Because if you didn't stay up late, and certainly when I was 12, I probably couldn't stay up till 1 in the morning. My parents wouldn't have liked that. But to be able to wake up in the morning and say, what did Junior do? In 94, did Junior hit a home run last night? And so the Mariners, you saw Mariner hats at our baseball practices in the early 90s in Michigan because of Griffey, because they were just so cool. The logo was cool, the colors were cool, and 24 was cool. He was the epitome of cool. And so I think that there are a lot of, in a way, now the Braves had the TBS, the Superstation, the TV, and all the winning consistently for more than a decade. But what I'm saying is there are Mariner fans, or people that watch the Mariners closely, all around this country, and indeed all around the world, who are waiting for a team like this. And you think about the number of fans of the Mariners who are in Japan. I remember I've been to Tokyo a couple different times. You still see Mariner hats around because of Ichiro, because of Kaz, Hasegawa. I mean, Jojima players that you played with, and Iwakuma as well. It's a long history, and certainly, and again, you want to win because you want to win, but the deeper the Mariners go, the easier it becomes to recruit free agents into the future, because there can be certain, in some cases, okay, I live in Florida, I don't want to have to travel across the country. We've heard that before, but if you win, you win. And people want to play for you when you win. And that includes international free agents. It includes free agents around the U.S. And the deeper this team goes, the more games they win, the easier Jerry DiPoto and Justin Holler's phone calls are going to become in a month or so's time.
We've been talking about this, today's game. How crucial, and I brought it up to you during the break, but how crucial is it for the Mariners to get game one, considering if they don't, you're going up against Tarek Skubal, who they've beaten twice. I don't think you count on a third time. Going up against him down 0-1.
Yeah, Bob, it's a great question. I'm sure it's one that a lot of fans here are mulling over as they're filing into the ballpark. And look, it's real. You've got the Tigers are starting a rookie, Troy Melton, who began the year at AA. And so this on paper looks like advantage Seattle, and tomorrow looks like advantage Detroit. That's just looking at it. Baseball, though, as we know, can fool you. And just when you think you've got it figured out, it will often trick you. And there have been plenty of times where a matchup looks a certain way in the playoffs. I remember covering the Cardinals. They show up to Detroit in 2006 in the World Series. Anthony Reyes starts game one. Some of us had never even heard of him. He starts game one against the Tigers, against the future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander. The Cardinals won that game. And so I'm always reluctant to bank too much on the outcome of a game and how the next day's pitching sets up. But I will tell you this. What I do pay a lot of attention to early on in a series is the quality of the start from the first starting pitcher. And again, in Troy Melton's case for Detroit, it's going to be a short one. But how does the bullpen set up when that game is over? Obviously, it's crushing if you lose that game. But if you have your A bullpen still going for the next day, you're okay. The issue what's going on right now for the Yankees is that Luis Gil was taken out in the third inning. Now they've had to cover a whole bunch of outs, and they're not performing either. So you've got tired relievers who didn't pitch well in game one, who now have to get there in game two. Now they've got Max Fried going, so they should feel pretty good about that, and I get that. I think for Seattle's purposes, Bob, the most important thing is their starting pitchers, and I know it's tough that Wu's not in there, but their starting pitchers are, I think, of all the teams that are in this postseason right now, have shown the most over this season about their ability to go deep into games. And so, yes, the Mariners want to win game one, but I would just say do not despair, Mariner fans, if they don't win game one, because I think the way that the pitching sets up, presuming it's not a quick exit for Kirby, is actually very healthy the way their team is balanced out with the bullpen.
You know, Jerry and Justin have done a great job putting this team together, and you look at the change last year, bringing Dan Wilson on board, and now having a full season of Dan Wilson, and now you put up another banner in right field 24 years later and win the AL West. How important is that, you know, is a personal question, I guess. How important is it for Dan from a managing standpoint? And then secondly, is this going to put him in running for the AL Manager of the Year?
So good question. So I have to note at the beginning here, I was actually a voter for the AL Manager of the Year. So in fact, I can't tell you what my ballot said.
Fair enough.
Other than to say I gave Dan Wilson a lot of consideration because his resume is excellent.
Somebody in there was the worst of the best.
Somebody in there was the worst of the best. Whenever I can release my ballot once it's announced, I will tell you who the worst of the best was. But I think it's huge for him. It was interesting, Charlie. I had somebody ask me the other day, do I think that Scott Service, had he been still the manager this year, that he could have gotten this team to the playoffs? And the way I answered that was this, that in Scott Service's time, there was never a trade deadline where he got two bats like Suarez and Naylor. I think Scott Service is a good major league manager. I believe and hope that he'll get another chance somewhere else because he worked here with the same team. At the time he was let go, he was one of the longest tenured managers in baseball. He did a good job here. I also think Dan Wilson's done a good job here. Two things can be true. It can be true that Scott Service is a good manager, and it can also be true that Dan Wilson was probably the best fit for this particular group. And it doesn't surprise me that it was with Wilson leading the way that you saw Raleigh have this great season. And that then also the overall context, Bob, of the base running that Naylor brought in, I think that fits the way Dan Wilson wants to manage his team.
Less than a minute to go, and we're going to talk to you tomorrow. Yes. You're going to join us for the pregame show, but just your initial feeling about this series, if you had to make a prediction.
I think Mariners in 5. I think it's going to be a really great series. I think we're going to see a split of the first 2 games, a split of the next 2 games, and then Seattle comes back and wins Game 5. Although, as I say that would mean you have to beat Tarek Skubal in Game 5. The second look at Skubal, I would imagine, is a little bit easier than the first. And tomorrow's going to be a tough game, which is why, to your point, Bob, a little bit of urgency for the Mariners today.
Charlie, real quick, Mariners, Tigers, who wins?
Mariners all day.
All right, there you go. It's a trifecta. We're all on board. All right, that's going to do it for us. Our thanks to Gary Hill, Shannon Dreher, Rick Riz, Aaron Goldsmith, and, of course, the great Jon Paul Morosi. We're going to talk to you tomorrow before the game right here on Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com.